Vaishnav ji. So, Radhe Radhe everyone. So, good morning, good evening. Welcome to another session of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Over to you, Nitin ji.
Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you, Smita ji, for a wonderful session like always. So, Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Today is also Father's Day, so we will celebrate it like we do in Bhagavad Gita style. So, let me share my screen and we shall get started. Oh, you need to make me co-host so that I can share my screen. If you can set me as a co-host, thank you. Okay, so Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening again to all of you. Let's get started with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So, Radhe Radhe, a very warm welcome to all of you to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So, like I said, it's Happy Father's Day. So, Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers. And we really wish them a very, very happy Father's Day on that. So, now if we think about father, right, is children's first hero, although they are more, generally, typically, I would say, not always. Mothers could be hero as well. But then they are children's first hero, even though children are more connected to their mother. But typically, is this seen that they idolize their fathers, and also they're traditionally been the breadwinners for the family. Things have changed, but traditionally, I'm saying that doesn't mean always the case. Okay, you could have mother being the sole breadwinner as well, but typically or traditionally, and also they have this responsibility of being a disciplinarian as yet kind and compassionate, okay, with kids. So one of them who typically exerts authority, with regards to discipline, it's usually father. But at the same time, they they are kind and compassionate as well. So we again want to congratulate all the fathers, the world, because this is again like mother. God has entrusted fathers, and basically both father and mother, with the responsibility of not only bringing forth a life but also nurturing it. And it's a partnership that the parents they enter into with God, and the best way to discharge that responsibility would be to make their child God realized. Now for them to become God realized, of course, you need to be in that position as well. So buck stops as working as us because those little eyes are looking at us all the times. So not only work on ourselves, but also give them a good upbringing, good foundation, so that they can face life with confidence, with clarity, with purpose, with devotion, and becoming a good individual as they grow. So as we celebrate that, we are going to also look at our spiritual father. Okay. So we've spoken about our physical, material father. Now let's talk about our physical father. And in order to take that discussion forward, I picked up this shloka from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 7. I'm going to recite it. We can pick up three hands and then we will get into the discussion for today. Like we often do, we go back and forth in Bhagavad Gita. Chronologically, we are on 5.21, but we will take a quick detour because it's Father's Day today to talk about it, and then we'll get back on track starting tomorrow. So let me recite this shloka and then we'll pick up three hands. Mame vansho jiva loke Jivabhuta sanatanaha mana shasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. All right, let's take a few hands.
Okay, Sam ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe, Samji.
Ame vansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manshasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Can I say something else also
Oh, yes, sure.
regarding the Father's Day? And there is a saying in Hindi, English, Punjabi, and all those things. Fathers are usually like the math. They are difficult. They may be difficult to understand, but life cannot go without them. And mothers are simple like Hindi, is easy to understand, but you cannot understand the local and all those things without the mothers. Hindi is simple to learn, simple thing. Hindi, I mean, in the like, common language, but life can become easy with the mothers that way. So both are needed in life.
Very nice. Math and Hindi, that's a good example. And you can tailor or customize it based on what your mother tongue is. So you say math and Marathi or math
Yeah,
and
you can say whatever.
or math and Telugu, math and Punjabi. So I think we got the gist. So thank you, Samji. Very nice. All right. So let's take a few
उनके
more
बिना
hands.
समझ नहीं, जिंदगी उस मदर के बिना समझ नहीं आती. Simple है mother, but life cannot be understood without mother.
True. Very nice. Thank you, Samji. Okay,
Next,
let's take maybe two more. There's a lot of interest today for recitation, but let's pick up maybe a couple more hands, maybe then we'll see.
Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Aparna ji.
Radhe Radhe. Happy
Radhe.
Father's Day to all the fathers.
Happy Father.
Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. Thank
Very
you.
nice. Thank you, Aparna ji. Let's take a few more hands.
Rupa ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Rupa ji.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Mamaivansho jivaloke manashani indriyani tani karshati.
All right.
Radhe
Thank
Radhe
you,
ji.
Rupa ji. All right. Let's take maybe two more hands and then we'll get started.
Dinesh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Mamaivanso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha manasrashtani indriyani prakrutistani karsati. Radhe
Very
Radhe.
nice. Thank you. Okay, one more and then we get started. We have a lot of stuff to cover today.
Uday ji, Radhe Radhe.
Udul ji.
या राधे राधे ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति राधे राधे.
Very nice. Radhe Radhe. Surya ji, Praghi ji. Tomorrow you get the first preference. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying, the embodied souls in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts. Very clearly saying they are my eternal fragmental parts. But bound by material nature, they are struggling with the six senses, including the mind. Right? We all know that. But we are going to focus on the first aspect of it, where he's very clearly stating that all the souls, which is us, are my eternal fragmental parts. Now, the beauty of our scriptures is that there is a coherence. You go to Kathopanishad, you go to Ramayana, you go to Bhagavatam, stating the same thing. So for that matter, I picked up this and other stuff from Ramayana, where God is saying, Ishwara Ansha Jiva Avinashi. So basically saying Jeev is eternal, fragmental part of God. In Ramcharitmanas, it's very clearly stated. And this Mamevanshu Jiva Loke Jivbhuta Sanatana, it's from Bhagavad Gita. We've already spoken about it, right? So we are fragmental parts of God. His parts belongs to the whole, and that's where the parenthood comes. Okay, he's our father. Now let's take more, go a little deeper into this concept. Okay, by that, By the time a man realizes his father was right, he has a son who thinks he's wrong. Okay, anyways. So it is said that Swamiji's lecture, I picked it up and I came across this WhatsApp forward, which I found pretty interesting. So they say there are 3 stages in anybody's life. What are those 3 stages? Number 1 stage is, now my dad is number 1. Okay, the kid says, you know what my dad can do? He can do anything. And that is how they brag about in front of their friends. When they're small, they brag and they cannot take anything. And they, my dad is the best. So it happens as the very first stage. Everybody goes through that stage, right? Where you brag about your dad and you think they are number 1. Then comes a stage where they grow up, they become teenagers, and then say, you know what, dad, you don't know anything. Then comes that stage, and they start telling dad and everybody has to go through that stage as well. So if you're not, then brace up for that. If you've already passed that stage, good. Now, the key thing is between this stage and the next stage that we're going to talk about, the shorter the gap, the better off the maturity and wisdom is. Okay, that gap can continue for the rest of the life, which is not a good spot to be in. But then the third stage, which comes with wisdom, experience, learnings, is where the person says, you know what, my dad used to say, then it'll all start making sense. So these are the typically 3 stages everybody goes through. And when the wisdom dawns, you say, my dad used to say, now it all started making sense, where you would challenge your dad in between. And initially, anyway, he was your hero, right? So these are the different stages we go through with our material fathers. Okay, now let's move on. I don't know why did they come now. These are the 3 stages. Now let's move on. Our scriptures say, Vedant Sutra Vedvyas, he's written, he says, Janmadyasya Yatah. The first sutra says, who's God? He puts that question, Yathato Brahma Jigyasa, that inquire who shall God. And then the second sutra, it is being answered as well, 111.2. Basically, he's saying that from which the birth, etc. of this universe, basically one who is the creator of this universe. That is who God is, one who has created this world. Now you would say, really, we have heard in science that nobody created this world, right? Came from an explosion. So we'll talk about that too. But our scriptures very clearly define that the one who has created this world is called God. And by virtue of that, now we are going to again tie it back to we are talking about Father's Day. So we have our material father, and then we have our spiritual father. We are going to tie it back to who is our spiritual father and what do we owe to him, so to say, right? Ramayana says, Bhagavad Gita says, Bhagavatam says that Mame Vansho Jiva Loke, or Ishwar Ansh Jiva Vinashi. We are fragmental parts of God. So we are fragmental parts of God. And our scriptures are also saying he is the one who has created the world. So what does it mean for us? Let's understand that. Okay, let's first tackle this question. And Bhagavatam also says that, what does it say? It says, O my Lord Krishna, son of Vasudev, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. I meditate upon Lord Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. I think Brahmaji is saying that in Bhagavatam. So he is the primal cause of all creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. Our scriptures are very clearly, very clearly stating he is the one who has created this whole world. Now let's try to understand this concept a little bit more. Now you see a beautiful literature, let's say it's a beautiful literature of Shakespeare or some great creation that you are very fond of reading and you marvel at that creation. And if somebody asks you, how did this creation get created? You say, you know what happened? There was an explosion that happened. Boom, that explosion happened, which put into motion this typewriter automatically. And not only that, it actually made some A4 papers fly into that typewriter all by itself. And not only that, it put the typewriter into motion as well. Does the right keystrokes with the right words and right framing of the sentences and the right poem and write sonnet or limericks, whatever are created, everything fell into place, and the paper kept on changing until it compiled into a beautiful book, and then all by itself it got compiled and got stacked here, right? What would you think? Is it possible with an explosion? Anybody who's from a science background? Any scientists here? Doctorates? I'm just kidding. So yeah, basically this whole concept, if you think about it, is a little bit like that, right? Where we, from a micro all the way up to the macro level, there's so much of perfection in this creation, right? So much of perfection in the sense that when we say perfection, the perfection in the sense that if you look at the micro level, molecular movement, atomic movement, all the way up to macro level, everything is rotating around some center, and then it has the right mass, right velocity, right tilt, right axis, everything, so that it doesn't collapse with the gravitational force. And that is happening all by itself, right? If you look at that nature. So that is where this is a little implausible, the concept that we talk about. Anyway, explosion causes destruction, not creating something as beautiful as a symphony as this world is. And this is something which was, this is to basically put it in perspective what our scriptures are saying, that there is an intelligent creator behind this creation. It's not a result of an random explosion that happened. There's a creator. That's what our scriptures are telling us as well. Right. So a teacher was teaching this Big Bang. Today only Swamiji was telling in his lecture that this is how everything got created. And then he gave an assignment. The teacher gave an assignment to the kids to create a world map. And one of the kids was intelligent. He has probably had an orientation of scriptures or attended JK Yoga online classes or lectures of Swamiji. He said, okay, let me play a practical trick. So what he did was he just scribbled some random lines here, there, threw some color and paper and just slipped it in the assignment submission. The teacher picked it up and he said he looked at the world map people was created by all the students, and then he came across this one who said, who did that? Nobody raised their hand. He said, who did that? So one of the students raised hand and he said, you know what? It happened all by itself. There was an explosion in the garden, and then the pencils start flowing and they came on the paper, scribbled it, and the colors start flowing in. All that happened. So teacher said, are you kidding me? Who's going to believe that? He said, you are willing to believe that his whole world got created with an explosion, and you're not willing to believe that this paper got created, this world map got scribbled all by itself. So the point is, explosion causes destruction. Okay, this is a theory we have heard. So if in the exam it comes, of course, you have to write Big Bang. You have to say the condensed mass exploded and entropy is increasing and all that stuff. You don't say, no, Vedvyas said that is created by God, because then you will not get marks. But the point here is that from a creation standpoint, if you look at it scripturally, there's an intelligent creator behind it. And somebody who has created it. And now the question is, why did he create that, right? And then what is our relationship with him? And why are we talking about it on Father's Day, right? We'll build on that. So making that point, now let's move on. So it's like this. We are part of God, and it's like the waves in an ocean, right? So if you look at ocean, you figure of speech says that ocean is a water body. But then ocean in itself is a water, right? So like waves come from ocean. Where do they go back? They go back to the ocean, right? So then they finally return to the ocean. And where do they get water from? The ocean itself. So similarly, God is saying, you are my eternal fragmental parts. We all belong to God. And hence, there is a relationship that is automatically established by the one who's responsible for our creation, right? We are his part and we belong to the whole. So that relationship is automatically established with God, right? So like our material father, he also takes care of us. He has done this creation, and then he's providing for it for us as well, right? And you would say, how is he providing for us? He's providing for us by giving us food. He's giving us water. He's giving us this earth to roam upon, and he's taking care of everybody. And even the fruits, if you look at it, they are so nicely programmed that depending upon the season, that fruit will come. When you have vitamin C is needed to your body, the oranges will start coming in winter. And when you need something juicy because you feel hot in summer, then watermelon would come, right? So those kind of things. So it's so perfectly programmed by God, and he takes care of it. And even if you are an atheist, he will take care of it, right? There's another story he was talking about today, that there was a guy who got stranded, while he was traveling, until he came to a village where it was late hour, and he said, whom can I visit? I need some kind of a shelter for tonight, and plus I'm feeling hungry. So they gave him an address of a guy who was known to be very hospitable and take care of people. So he entered their house at the late hour. They had just cleaned up their kitchen. But nevertheless, Atithi Devo Bhav, they again resumed. They said, okay, let's prepare a meal for you. So they prepared a meal for him, and he was very grateful. He said, thank you. He said, it's only the host said, we had wrapped up pretty much everything, but with God's grace, we are able to host you. I'm glad you found us. So let's offer a prayer to God and have partake this food now. So this guy was an atheist. He said, where does God come into picture? I landed here in your house. Somebody gave me your address. I came here. Now you prepared food for me. What is God thing coming into this whole picture? So this guy was infuriated. He said, you don't believe in God? You don't want to thank him? Get out of my house. He put him out of his house. And then in his dream, God comes. God says, why did you do that? He said, God, but he was, against you, and I couldn't tolerate it. He said, how old was he? He said, he must have been around 40 or so. He said, I've been tolerating him for 40 years, and you could not tolerate him for 40 minutes. So the point is, regardless of whether you believe in God, or you say God is the opiate of masses, or you say my God died young, or you say I'm a Marxist or a communist, I don't believe in God, right? Some people say that man created God in his image, and then they say that, and then some say that God created man in his image, right? So point here is, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, he still takes care of us, because he's our eternal father. He's given us a this creation, and then of course his laws govern that, and there are innumerable laws in this creation. This creation itself is a marvel, and then there are innumerable laws that govern it. We have a law of thermodynamics, we have a law of entropy. There are so many laws in chemistry, there are so many laws in mathematics, physics, everything has a law. And like you say, painting implies a painter, poem implies a poet, so creation implies a creator. It's a very simple logic, right? You cannot have a writing without a writer, painting without a painter, so creation with a creator. So somebody's a creator. So if you see a beautiful picture, landscape, who has created it? That is who God is. Our scriptures tell us. So in that sense, now God has created what? When he's created, he has created entities in two forms, Jad and Chetan. Jad is insentient. Chetan is which is sentient. Now within Chetan, you have Swanch and Vibhinanch. Some of his own expansions are there to administer this universe. Right? Vishnu is there, and then you have Paramatma form, and then they are all called Swanch. You have Lord Shiva, all the Swanch, basically God, where he just expands himself in different forms. And then there are Vibhinanch. Vibhinanch means who are different from God. And those are the category of Jivatmas that we are. So we are Vibhinanch of God, and within Vibhinanch, there are again two categories. One is Nitya, they are VIPs for whatever reason, okay? They are very important people. Mean they are Nitya means they are always God realized. And then there are Nityabad. Nityabad is WIPs. They are VIPs, they are WIPs. Nityabad means who have already been always under Maya. Okay, so these are the two categories. If you had to employ another prism to it, yes, Sandhya, this is a favorite topic, huh? Go ahead.
Sadhansit is under Nityabad.
Yeah, so Nityabad, I have not expanded it further. Then within Nityabad, there are two categories. One is Sadhan Siddh, right? Within Nityabad, yeah, Sadhan Siddh will come basically under Nityabad only, because within Nityabad, people who have always been under Maya, then through your sadhana, you realize God. So then it is called Sadhan Siddh. Nitya Siddh is always there. Sadhan Siddh will come under Nityabad. Then another lens you can employ where, God says there are Sthavar and there are Jangham. Sthavar means things which don't move, and Jangham means things that are movable. Right? That is another lens you can employ. And within Sthavar, you can have Jad Chetan. Like, for example, trees have life, plants have life, but they can't move. And then you have organisms which can move. So Sthavar and Jangam is there as well, movable and immovable. And the Jad Chetan again follows the same hierarchy from there on. So that is another way of looking at it. And God has created it. And it is said that, I think in Kathopanishad says, how did God create everything? He created it like a spider would manifest a web. Now, where does the spider get the material to create a web? Does it go to Walmart or Home Depot to get all the stuff? It doesn't. It just generates it out of its body. And then when the job is done, where does the net go? This whole web that it has woven, it goes back into its body. So our scriptures say God created the material. He simply manifested it from his body and then permeated every atom of it. So the material energy, as scriptures say, Prakriti is there. He glanced at Prakriti and it set into motion the creation. So he's given us a foster mother, which is called Maya. Maya is our foster mother, but then the Jeev said we need a proper mother also. And then he duplicated himself as Radha Tattva, which is a spiritual mother. Yes, Sandhya, you had a question? Too much
There's
of
a
me today.
question. There's a question in the chat about Maharajji. Manisha D is asking, was Maharajji a Nitya Siddh?
He was higher than Nitya Siddh. He was an avatari himself.
The Swansh, can we put it within this hierarchy, right? We can say Swansh, right?
Swansh. It's technically Swansh, but it's higher than Nitya Siddh. He was an avatari himself. Sometimes God takes avatar himself, right? So that's when he comes as a guru periodically. So he was that because he didn't. So he's in that avatari part of it. But good question, nevertheless. Now, so with that said, now father-son relationship, we know, right, in the material world. And then we have husband-wife relationships, spousal relationships. All these relationships, are they at the level of body or soul? We have to understand, right? These relationships that we have in this world are at the platform of body. Why? Because the relationship ends. When the body departs, the relationship ends. Has anybody taken their parents or their kids or their spouses or their relatives along with them? Nobody has. The relationship finishes. So they are not truly sambandhis. They are temporary relationships that get established at the level of body. But at the level of soul, the relationship that we have, permanent relationship that we have, is with God and Guru. So we'll talk about our spiritual fathers more today. Okay, we'll bring the concept of Guru here as well. So these relationships, let's understand again. It's an important opportunity today again to revisit this concept that all the relationships that we have in this world, right? Whether it's father-son, mother-son, husband-wife, kid, relatives, whoever it is established at the level of body. The moment body has to go on either side, that relationship ceases to exist. Okay. So this is how the relationship. However, at the soul's level, that relationship is much deeper. Why? Because the soul transmigrates from one body to another. That is what Bhagavad Gita tells us as well. When it transmigrates, the Paramatma aspect goes along with it, accompanies it. And if you have established a relationship with Guru, that relationship continues as well. So with that said, if you look at all these relationships in this world on Father's Day, right? This worldly relationships that we look at, whether it's a sibling relationship, whether it's with father, whether it's with spouse, whether it's with mother, whether it's with friends, whether it's with grandparents, family, all the brethrens and all, the Supreme Father is God. They belong to God before they belong to us. That is the understanding we need to have. And the second one that I brought in, so they are brethren, sister, however you call that, in that sense, all the souls are brethren or sister. And the second relationship that we have, the father actually is called Guru. Why Guru? Because Guru is the one who actually introduces us to the knowledge. See, without a Guru, we won't even get the knowledge. We will not understand the Tattva Gyan or the entity. Who are we? Who is God? What is our relationship with them? Who's our true Sambandhi? So Tattva Gyan will not come. Second thing is, he will teach us, okay, how to progress on this path, how to increase our surrender, and he will work on purifying us as well. How to remove the obstacles or the impurities in our antakaran. Who does all the hard work? Guru. God's policy is, although God is the Supreme Father, our Father is Guru, spiritual Father, and Supreme Father is God. God has a policy, you give me the clean vessel. Now, who will do the dirty job of cleaning the vessel? Guru. And that is why Guru's stature is higher than that of God as well. And he's considered as Father. It's just like a girl is enabled by the parents. All the skills that they are taught are enabled by parents. And then finally, a gentleman come, take 7 rounds and said, okay, I'll pick it up now, married. Now, who has done the hard work? Parents. Similarly, Guru is the one who's working on the soul, not only giving them the right tools, but also giving them the knowledge. And they continue to work on, cleaning that vessel of the soul and preparing it so that they gain eligibility for God. And finally, God will come and pick up the soul. He said, all right, now the job is done. You are clean. I'll pick you up. And that is why Kabir ji also says, right? Guru Govind, dono khade kaake lagu paaye. Balihari Guru, Govind diye milaye. So Guru has a higher stature even than God. So from a spiritual standpoint, yes, we have our material father, right? We establish relationship in every life with whoever is endowed with that responsibility, but that relationship ceases when the body departs on either side. And then we have our spiritual father, which is Guru, and then we have our spiritual supreme father, the father of our father of our father, the ultimate father, God. So God is not only Jagat Pati, he is Jagat Pita also. Okay, just a matra khel, but he is Jagat Pita also. Jagat Pita and Jagat Pati, both. And he's our ultimate relative as well, because no matter which body you go to, he is obliged to accompany you in that body, because if he leaves, then your existence will cease to exist. So even if you become donkey, God forbid, he has to accompany us. And that is the relationship we have. And he takes care of us. He provides for us. And he's all compassionate and all merciful for us. And he has given us a mother as well. He said, all right, you don't have a spiritual mother. I've given you a foster mother, which is Maya Devi. Right? We have all been placed in the womb of this material energy. And then he glances and then we get a womb every time we come. And then he has given a spiritual mother as well, all compassionate, all loving, where he has duplicated himself as Radha Tattva as well, where we don't have that ability where we could distill our all pure loving compassion form in one thing. He has that ability, and that's where he has given us a spiritual mother as well. So we celebrate Father's Day with a perspective. Yes, we need to be grateful to our father, because they take care of us. They are our first hero. And they do our upbringing, and they take care of us in this life, and they give us the right foundation that is needed. And at the same time, it is an opportunity to remember our spiritual father as well, and refresh our relationship with that father, the long forgotten relationship that we have with this father. There was a father and a son, not father and son. There were two people. They were sitting in a bar, and then they were getting high. And then when they got high, this guy asked him, where do you live? He said, I live in Dwarka only. And he said, okay, Dwarka. And really? He said, I live in Dwarka as well. So they're already high. He said, which sector do you live in? He said, sector 21. He said, really? I also live in sector 21. He said, okay, so which, colony do you live in? Apartment? He said, Ganapati apartment. He said, what a coincidence. I live there as well. He said, really? He said, yeah. And to tell me which building? He said, building 21. He said, really? I also live there. He said, which floor? The third floor. He said, really? I also live there. And he said, which house? And then he says his house number 321. He said, what a coincidence. I also. So this guy who was watching them with amusement, he said, what a coincidence. These two guys, they have. So the waiter come, he said, sir, this is their everyday drama. Okay. They get high and renew this. So similarly, we have also forgotten our relationship with God. Saints come and tell us that. And then we remember that the purpose would be served. So this is how we are also intoxicated in Maya right now, and forgotten that relationship. So saints come and actually remind us that, and then the purpose will be served when we refresh, remind, and remember that relationship and start working, striving towards what we should do for our spiritual father and our mother as well. Okay, with that said, I'll take a quick pause. Any questions related to what we have spoken about?
Um, Yeah, can I go first? So,
Mm.
one thing that you talked about, that our guru purifies us and then hands us over to God. Uh, but just one clarification there, that like even after we have realized God, we still continue to serve God through our guru, right? Like because
Correct.
that association is eternal.
That's an eternal relationship that gets established. So even after God realization, you would continue to operate via guru. That is how beautiful this relationship is, right? So if you have to do some seva, let's say you realized God in his personal form and you go to Golok, and then Krishna has to go out somewhere and you want to put flowers on his way, or to decorate him, or to, let's say, maybe do a decoration of the swing in which they are going to do that leela. So which flowers to pick up, who's going to do what, all that seva comes via guru only. So we continue to operate with him. Even that is how this relationship goes. Yeah.
And also, in addition to saying Jagat Pati and Jagat Pita, he's Jagat Mata as well, right? Like
Jagat Mata as well.
all
Jagat
the relations, but yeah.
Janni. Yeah, everything. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. We say that, right? Always. That is the reason. Tvameva Bandhu cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Darbham. Whatever that is. Okay. Tvam
Yes.
Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Yeah.
Keshav ji, Radhe Radhe.
Keshav ji, Radhe Radhe. You are driving. I see that. So I hope you.
Radhe Radhe. I'll park it right away. No worries. I'm in the parking lot already.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done. Yeah, I heard you saying Guru. Okay, I'll repeat that. Guru Gobind dohu khade, काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपके, जो गोविंद दियो बताए, मिलाए नहीं है.
बताए.
इसमें बहुत बड़ा भेद है.
बताए.
Different opinion. People say this and that too. I know, but the actually Guru, but Guru Gobind दोहू खड़े काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपके, जो गोविंद दियो बताए. Number 2, भगवद गीता श्लोका. बहुनाम जन्नाम अन्ते ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यते, वासुदेवा सर्वमति सा महात्मा सुदुर्लभा. वो महात्मा बड़ा सुदुर्लभा है जो मेरी शरण में आता है और मेरा ज्ञान प्राप्त करके मेरी शरण में आया है, वो महात्मा है. यहाँ बाकी उपाधियां तो बहुत हैं लोगों ने पाई हुई, मंडलेश्वर, महामंडलेश्वर और जो भी हैं. आई डोंट वांट टू क्रिटिसाइज दो. तो अल्टीमेट तो भगवान कृष्ण ही है. राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Keshav ji. Yes, Gobind Leo Bataye, not Milaye as yet. Very true. Okay. Maybe Sairam ji, if you are there, you are the authority on Kabir ji's Doha, so you can let us know. You know. Yes, Neeli ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Yes. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
I just remember one poetry from Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore.
Mm-hmm.
It says, the human being on the earth, it is saying that whenever I bring colorful toys for my kid, I remember, or I think, I understand why the God has created rainbow in the sky, and why the beautiful morning colors and evening colors. And when I bring candies, chocolates, and things like that for my son, I understand why God made all different kinds of sweet and sour and all different kinds of fruits. When I sing a lullaby to my child, I understand why the streams and the river and the ocean make such a nice music. And I mean, then at the last, he is telling that now I understand what the father is feeling. So this is just what God does for us, what a father we also do. Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful, Nidhi ji. Very nice. I think you give very nice analogies and very appropriate for the discussion. So thank you. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from a suburb of Chicago, Lombard.
Okay, okay. Very nice. Good to hear from you in the session, and thank you again for sharing it. Loved it. Yes, Sandhya. So yeah, Maharaj ji has also in his bhajan say, right? He has said that Guru ki kripa se mile giridhar pyare, or Hari ki kripa se mile Guru var pyare. So God leads us to Guru and Guru leads us to God. But yeah, hard work is done by God, and that is why his stature, or he's held at a higher pedestal than God from a Jivatma standpoint, because God is not going to manifest in front of you and say, hey, this is what I want you to do. Arjun got the benefit, not all of us get that. So his grace or his instructions come via Guru, and he is the one whom we need to work with. And then finally, when we gain eligibility, or we have surrendered or perfected our surrender, then he's anyway going to make us meet God. So this is how it goes. Yeah. And he has the technology to know how to remove our impediments or to cleanse us where we are getting stuck, or increase our surrender as well. Yes, Sandhya.
So this is regarding that point that everybody is God's relative first, then I mean ours anyway, it's a temporary association, but still, right? But whenever our associates end up being in trouble or anything, we end up getting worried that,
True.
So I just wanted to like discuss a little bit more on this. And
True.
um of course we also have a duty to take care of our associates, right? But after a point we are supposed to leave it in the hands of God, because God really cares for each and everyone much more than what we can do, right? So yeah, you can also add your bit, but yeah.
So how would you feel, let's say somebody comes to your house and say, you know what, I'm really concerned about your kid. Your neighbor comes and tells you that, okay, I think you should do this for him. How would you feel? You would say, give me a break. He's my kid first. Then, you getting worried about it. So I know what is best for him. So same way, God also laughs, when we start thinking or getting worried about other people. He's like, they're my kids first. Here's a plan. But that doesn't absolve us from doing our duty, right? Whatever best we can do. But yeah, we have to draw a line beyond a point where, see, we leave it up to him. End of the day, God has a plan for everyone, right? Right from a small ant all the way up to the humongous elephants that we have. He's taking care of food and pretty much plan for everyone. So we focus beyond a point, we have to let go of it, because if we take it too seriously, then again we are taking ourselves too seriously here, right?
But that's where a little bit subjectivity also comes, right? Where to draw that line, like my
So
duty and how
I know.
much I could have done, kind of a thing, right? So
Yeah, it's not a straightforward process for sure, and it's definitely not a straightforward process. Again, you have to draw an algorithm around it, right? Do you have a word direct instruction? Yes or no, right? Shreyas, prayas, right? And then good intent, all that framework, but you have to play with that framework and see what best can be done. But yeah, I get it. It's not a straightforward thing. Yes, Tejas?
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe. So again, like going back to Sanjay's question, like it's all about being a karma yogi, right? I mean, you're trying to do your duties, whatever humanly possible. You're trying to explore all the options, but also keeping God in mind. And also, by when you say leave it to God, you're doing the same thing, right? I mean, basically, you're trying to being a karma yogi, right? I mean, that's
True.
how that's my take on it. I mean,
True, but yeah, the relationships can have a lot of colors, right? So we have to deal with gray in those kind of situations. How much can you do? How much do you influence? Do you even influence at all, or do you turn away completely? So all those things do come into picture, right? So there are a lot of shades of gray where you have to navigate it, and then it could become tricky at times, and then you continue to work through that, and then finally you have to let go of it. That's how it goes. But yeah,
right?
correct.
Okay.
You said you keep God in mind for everything. And if it is black and white for you, then it's easy. But if it is gray, then it can become a little tricky,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like for example, let's say you have, there's a fire in your house. there's a fire in your house, and then would you go out and save the community? Fire is pretty much in the entire community, or would you first save the people who are around it, right? And you have an option to save them as well, right? So then those kind of dilemmas can be presented in situations, right? What do you do?
Dharma questions.
Dharma question.
Yeah, yeah. The same thing Arjun got he had a biggest dilemma, right? Like he
Right.
had his own cousins and his own relatives, and then at the same time he also had to protect Dharma. So for him, God manifested, but for us, I mean, like for Jivatma, it's
Very difficult.
Or
yeah,
else Guru,
yeah.
Guru manifest.
Guru, right? Guru will manifest. Yeah,
Now, would you
yeah.
bring in Tattva Gyan at that point? I have to look at the bigger picture and stuff like that, sacrifice and stuff, or something that is right in front of you, you save them,
Yeah.
whatever you best you can do. Those kind of very tricky questions are there, right? If you have Krishna telling you, hey, I'm telling you do this, that's a different matter. But yeah,
Yeah.
it can be tricky at times.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Anybody else? Please fill out the feedback tracker if you have more questions. Any other questions anybody has or
We
wanted
have
to?
a few also. We also have few lines of Radha Govind Geet. Like
Let's
right
pull
now,
that out. I think they're very relevant. I think they were sung in bhajan as well today, related to Father's Day. You
yeah,
think?
yeah. And actually, Rahul ji had shared it, and like today he can't join, so I thought we could probably
Sure.
uh, pick
Is it
them or
posted in
recite
chat
them.
or where is it?
I have them in as an image, so I can just show.
Yeah, you
And
can share that. Those are very
see
nice.
this? So these are all the ones relevant to Father's Day, written by Maharaj Ji. So all the Radha Govind Geet verses which are relevant to Father's Day specifically. Uh, so we can probably do a round through some of us, and we could just, I don't know how do you want to do it, but I thought it will be nice.
Okay, maybe we can take three or four hands and pick up one line. Don't repeat. That one has picked up. I can get started then.
Sure, sure.
मैं तो तेरा सुत हरि गोविंद राधे एक बार निज सुत गले ते लगा दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे. Basically, it says that I am your son, God. Just call me once and embrace me. That's the prayer. It's a beautiful one here. Anybody else who wants to take any line?
Can I go next?
Sure.
I'll take the lines before the ones that you spoke. So, गुरु तो है पिता सम, गोविंद राधे कन्या को सजा के हरि घर पहुँचा दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
lines we discussed in the class as well. So yeah.
Yes, very nice. We discussed it, right? Guru is the one who gets us ready, like parents get a girl ready for marriage, and here the marriage is meeting God Himself. Okay, I see 2, 3 more hands. We can take one each. I think that is our devotional segment also today. Yes, Priyaji, go ahead.
Yeah, ji, Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे. मैं तो तेरा सुत हरि गोविंद राधे एक बाद निज सुते गले ते लगा दे. राधे राधे.
Very nice. Thank you, Riyaji. Oh, Priyaji. Next, Riyaji, go ahead. Okay,
Priya
quite a
ji,
few hands. I think we'll cover everybody. Okay. We have time, so we can go and
we
cover.
also want to make announcements. You can tell me when should.
Sure. So let's make the announcements and then we'll continue this. Okay. I know
Okay.
we have some important announcements and we can complete this.
Yeah, like the most important announcement is the Dallas Yoga Fest, which is starting on June 21st. And that is going to be with Swamiji. It has many, many exciting activities, events, anything and everything you can imagine associated with yoga, and also things that you cannot imagine, like sound healing concert, uh, healthy food contest, and many, many more things. So I think that's something everybody should look forward to and not miss out on. So that's the main thing. Otherwise, there's also Bhagavad Gita youth camp that's starting shortly. So I've shared this feedback tracker. So please fill out feedback tracker, share your experience. You can ask your questions, comments, feedback. Everything is welcome. So I think that's mainly it, Nitinji, for today.
Okay,
So
great.
we,
So let's continue then.
yeah. So Riya ji, you can proceed, and I
Yeah,
think we can cover the lines which are not yet covered. Thank you.
yeah. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
मन में न मान नहीं गोविंद राधे आभर किंतु तू पिता है क्षमा दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe. Very nice. Okay, let's take the remaining hands. It's a beautiful verse from Maharaj Ji. So let's take the remaining hands too.
Lakshmi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Lakshmi
Yeah,
Ji.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
Thank
Day.
thank you. सीता वाला प्यार दे दे गोविंद राधे मुक्ति मुक्ति वैकुंठ आदि मोहिना दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे. Thank
Very
you,
nice.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you.
Do we want to also quickly discuss the meaning, or like
Yeah,
for
sure. Go ahead.
okay, so like the previous one is, like what you sang, that we are the son, but we don't even consider ourselves as a kid of God. So we don't even we are not even grateful for that. But because he's father, as per his nature, he's very forgiving, loving, caring. So that's what that talks about. And this recent one is we are bad kids. But he is again all powerful.
Yeah, we are telling we have been bad sin, but you being a father, give us the abilities, right? So
Awesome. So
very nice. We have a few more hands. Let's finish it off. I think it's a good devotional segment on Father's Day, so we can wrap it up.
yeah, Pratyusha ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. तू तो गोद लेना चाहे गोविंद राधे शिशु जैसा रोया नहीं तो ही दास का दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे.
Very nice.
Happy Father's Day, everyone. Radhe
Happy
Radhe.
Father's Day to everyone. Thank you. Okay, do we have Surinder ji
Can
is
we just quickly discuss the meaning? This is also very beautiful line.
right. So it's saying Pita wala pyar de de. It's
No,
like
this one. तू तो गोद लेना चाहे गोविंद राधे, शिशु जैसा रोया नहीं तो ही दोष का दे.
yeah, तू तो गोद लेना चाहे गोविंद राधे शिशु जैसा रोया नहीं. So basically, he said, you want to take me, embrace me, take me in your lap. I have not cried like a baby has. tohi dosh kya de. So basically that's, we have to cry like a fire and he's ready to embrace us basically. The day we will cry like a baby does, he's willing to take us in his lap. And I think that inadequacy or limitation is on our end, where we are not able to cry out truly, and not from God's end, because he's ready to embrace us the moment we surrender into him and cry like a baby. Very nice, beautiful line. Okay, Surendra
And
ji, seeing you after a long
Surinder,
time.
yes,
Good.
Surinder ji, Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे प्रभु, थैंक यू वेरी मच। तुझ सा कृपालु नहीं गोविंद राधे, मुझ सा कृतघ्न कोई हो तो बता दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे। हैप्पी पापा डे।
Happy Papa's Day. Thank you. All right. Do we have one more? Maybe Swati ji? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Swati ji.
Then two more hands that we can have. We have time, so we can cover. By the way, I would encourage everybody to fill out the
Yeah.
feedback tracker. Let's post that if not already. That way.
Posted, I'll repost as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow we will continue with our discussion on 5.21. So yes, okay. Please go ahead, Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Happy Father's Day to all. तुझे कृपालु नहीं गोविंद राधे, मुझे कृतज्ञ कोई हो तो बता दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे। Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So this one says that there's nobody more merciful and compassionate than you, and there is nobody more ungrateful than me. So it's being ungrateful so far that we have not even acknowledged all the graces that we have received. They say, right, Swamiji say that that we get tears when we have something going on in our family, to our material mother and father, and we feel that over feeling of being overwhelmed, and tears also come down when we don't see them well and stuff like that. But when we will realize what all our spiritual mother and father have done for us, then you will also then and also the tears will start rolling down. But we have not reached that stage as yet. So that is what is being called out here. Okay, let's take the remaining
And
hand.
just to mention this Pita wala pyar de de, we haven't covered, so maybe whoever is going next can do this.
Sure.
Keshav ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I wanted to just inform you that I am coming from one house in Bay Area in which our Kripaluji Maharaj came there twice, once in the year 2005 and second time 2007. And he stayed during his both the visits 1 week every time. There was a satsang there. I'm still not on the way going to my home.
Very
Radhe
nice.
Radhe.
Thank you for sharing that, Keshav ji. Very nice. Enjoy the divine vibrations there. I see is Abhinav and then iPhone.
Abhinav ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I was thinking of going with this Pitawala actually.
Awesome.
पीता वाला प्यार दे दे गोविंद राधे, भक्ति मुक्ति में कुंठ आदि मोहिना दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे।
Yes, Abhinav. This is very nice. He says that, okay, give me the love that a father would give to his child. And then it is automatically ruled out. Bhukti, Mukti, and Vaikunt. That a father will not give if you truly love me, because they know that this is limiting the love. So full love is even beyond Bhukti, Mukti, and Vaikunt. That means give me the topmost prize. That is your divine love in Braj itself. So it's a beautiful verse as well. Okay, iPhone G, whoever, iPhone G, please, if you can tell your name.
Hi, Radhe Radhe. Nitinji, this is Shalini here. I'm not able to change my
No
name,
worries.
so
No worries. Please
so
go
yeah.
ahead.
So I was going to sing Pita Wala Pyar De De, if that's
Okay,
okay.
so we can freeze
Yeah,
last
sure.
3 hands, and I think that will take us
Okay.
close to 10 to 5. Yeah.
Okay. पिता वाला प्यार दे दे गोविंद राधे, भुक्ति मुक्ति बैकुंठ आदि मोहिना दे। राधे राधे। Thank
Very
you.
nice. Thank you,
Radhe.
Shalini ji. Radhe
Actually,
Radhe.
this verse reminds me of Prahlad. He was like, if you just give me the lap of Vishnu ji, I don't want anything else. That is just sufficient.
Yep.
So yeah.
Lal ji.
Mrinal ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Nitin ji, Sandhya ji and everyone. तुझ सा कृपालु नहीं गोविंद राधे, मुझ सा कृतघ्न नहीं, मुझ सा कृतघ्न कोई हो तो बता दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे।
Very nice, Minal ji. So last hand for the day, Manisha ji. I think we had a pretty good segment today. You know, it was very nice that we could sing all these lines on the occasion of Father's Day today. So just worked out really well. Yes, Manisha ji, please go ahead. You're the last one for the day.
Ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I would
Radhe
like
Radhe.
to go with the first one.
Sure.
गुरु तो है पिता सम गोविंद राधे, कन्या को सजा के हरि घर पहुँचा दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे। Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you so much. With
Yeah,
that, yes.
I just wanted to say one more thing.
Mhm.
So I hope most of you are aware of this ongoing challenge on the Radha Krishna Bhakti app, the Spiritual Secrets from Hinduism challenge. The 7th day challenge has been released today. So those who haven't caught up with it, do that. It is again a very exciting topic with very engaging and intriguing questions. So it's about destiny and many other things related. So don't miss out on that and increase your butter pots. There's a competition going on, okay?
Nice. And we do have a family camp information session on Tuesday.
Yeah.
7 or 8, I don't know. Okay.
8, I guess, but I can recheck
8
that.
p.m. before our session, so please do join that as well. We're going to give you a lot of information about the
And
family.
you will be absolutely convinced that you don't want to miss out on the family camp.
Yeah. And if you're not convinced, then we'll do one more one. Okay.
We'll keep trying.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Radhe Radhe. And stay blessed. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll continue with our Bhagavad Gita discussion. Fill out the feedback tracker if not already. So Radhe Radhe, good night, good day from my side. Thank you.
Yeah. And just like Surender ji was asking, the feedback tracker link is working. So please try that again. And thank you, everyone. Happy Father's Day. See you all tomorrow. Radhe Radhe.
Namaste, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.